Good morning. It is a Wednesday morning for me. I have to get up and work on Wednesday mornings, and I thought it would be a great day to give you an intentional video. Intentionality, what is it? Why do it? What it is choosing to do certain things every day to help you succeed better in your life. Why do it? Why not do it is the real question. It is so much easier to intentionally take these steps to care about yourself and the people around you and the things around you than just responding to things or reacting to things. A good example could be when the morning time comes. If you have children, on one hand, you wake up before your children and you take care of yourself and you're so happy to see your children when they wake up. Or on the other hand, you're in bed sleeping and your child comes and smacks your shoulder and then you're waking up reacting, not so happy with them. So here are a few things that I try to be intentional on, and I hope that they help you better succeed in life, because life is hard and sometimes we need each other to ideas to better succeed. I have some notes down here that I will be looking at, so if you keep seeing me look down, it's because I'm looking at my notes, which I keep this note hung up at my desk every day as a reminder of things that I want to stay intentional about. My first area of being intentional is God. What better way than to, me personally, start my day with the Holy Spirit and filling my Holy Spirit. I am more intentional about doing daily devotionals, about spending time with God in prayer, and about going to church and Bible studies. I've always been a church goer, but Bible studies is something new that I've implemented, that I want to be intentional about, so that way in return I can feed my soul and my sanity. The other thing, which is a huge one as a mama, is self-care. You definitely need to be intentional about your self-care. Taking showers regularly, shaving your body regularly. I personally like to do foot detoxes. They're something that help me relax and will unwind, so that way I can get all that ickiness out of me, and not only do I get to see the ickiness come out of me, but I get to feel it as well. I also implement working out. I'm not talking about working out to get big, strong muscles. I'm talking about moving your body so that it can be flexible and ready to go. And a very important one that I'm not so good at, that I try consistently, is alone time. As moms, it's so easy for us to get caught up in husbands and children and to-dos and all the things that come with family. And one of the most important things for us to do is have alone time. When you have that alone time, it's easier for you to do some of these things that I'm talking about today. Another one of my areas that I like to stay intentional is marriage. Marriage. It definitely is something you have to work on every single day. Sometimes people ask my husband and I why we're this or why we're that, and honestly, we don't have the answer, but what we do know is that we intentionally spend time in our marriage to progress it and to make it the best that it could be. And things that we do that with is time spent. It's a big one. Date nights, alone time together, having a conversation with no interruptions face to face. Those are all very important things for your marriage. The other thing I have for marriage is to intentionally remember our love languages and what we learned in our marriage class. We have read the 5 Love Language book. If you have not read it and you're trying to figure out love in any way, not just marriage, with your children, with your parents, with your siblings, I would definitely recommend this book. It has been a game changer for the way that I respond and react to people. When you're reacting and responding into their love language, it definitely helps them feel a different way. And it just takes a second to be intentional about that thought before responding. Another one is our marriage class. Me and my husband divulge some things that we both wish the other person would do differently. And so I intentionally take a minute to implement those things so that he can be a happy husband and I can be a happy wife, and that makes our marriage happy. A big area in intentionality is family. My saying for family is you can't choose your family, you can only choose to love them. I have hard family members and I every day choose to love them and support them intentionally with the right things implemented. It can still be a very good relationship that you have with a family member. I like to implement individually time spent with the family members, like going over to their house and having dinner with them, or coming to my house and having dinner, maybe playing some board games, or just time spent with a good conversation in person or on the phone. One of the areas that I like to be intentional with family is making amends and not harboring any negative feelings. You know, those negative feelings and those non-forgiving thoughts, they stir in there and they start this vicious cycle of unhappiness. And let's face it, the whole point of being intentional is to be happy. The last thing in family area that I like to implement is family meetings. This is definitely one that me and my husband have had a hard time doing. We try to implement them at the end of the night on Wednesdays, but sometimes, it just doesn't work out. And that's okay too. But on the weeks that it does work out, my kids are less needy. They respond better to the things that I ask them to do because they've gotten that family meeting time. And game nights. And with those family meetings, we like to play games. It allows the family to laugh and interact in a space that we don't normally get to do that. The next subject will be friends. Everybody loves and needs friends. You need those people in your life to keep you sane and to help you talk things out and work through them. And a good way to be intentional with friends is to talk to them regularly. That one friend that you remember those wonderful memories with. It doesn't have to be past memories. If you're just intentional and take 15 minutes in a day to shoot them an email or a text message, or call them and leave them a voicemail if they don't answer. And if they do answer, speak to them in areas that you need to utilize them as your friend. There's a reason they're your friend. Embrace that. One of the things I wanted to be intentional about with friends is finding friends to push me to do good and positive things. I definitely have found that in my church family and friends and in my Bible study. I currently have just picked up in one of my friendships being accountability partners and holding each other accountable for the things that we do or don't want to do, and connecting with each other on a regular basis to make sure that we're doing those things. And dinner dates, I love opening my home to people, bringing them in, eating and fellowshipping with them. And what better way for that to happen but being intentional, meaning call that friend up, make that date, make that meal plan, go shopping before the day, meal prep as much as you can leading up to it. Be overall intentional on the tasks that you are choosing. My last one for friends is to find the value in your current friendships. If you have friends and you're wondering, why am I their friend? Why do I stay in this relationship? And you're not feeling like there's an exchange of friendship or fulfillment, then find that current value. Why are you their friends? What made you decide to be their friend in the first place? What drew you to them? And embrace that and work off of that. If there is no value, then maybe you should be intentional in looking at if this is a friend that you need to be intentional about. Oh, time spent's a hard one for me. These are margins in between, like a paper. We're supposed to stay in these margins. Well, I like to stay way out here. You can't even see them because they're outside the camera. And so one of the things that I definitely am intentional about is not running myself too short, about taking those times to watch movies with myself or my family, about making sure that the things I have on that day I can accomplish happily, not overwhelmingly, and have to shove some to the next day. At the beginning of that day, just shove some to the next day so that you can have an intentional great day. Less time spent on my computer and on my phone. It's very easy for me to sit down at a device for 15 minutes to do a project, social media, work, anything of the above, and next thing you know, I've spent 2 hours and wasted my morning, and now I'm 2 hours behind on the day when I could have just been intentional and stopped at the end of that 15 minutes. Another one for time spent is quality time spent with individuals. I know I kind of implemented this in the ones before, but it's very important that you enrich your friendships and your relationships with other people. When enriching them and being intentional about them, you can see the value, you can feel the value, you can know what the purpose of this relationship is and embrace it and love it and steward it and nourish it. My last area for today is going to be money. Money, 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 money. I am very good at spending every penny to the best of its ability. But at the end of that, I don't know where any of my money went. So one of the things I'm trying to implement on being intentional is tracking that spending, knowing where my money's going. Even if at the end of the month it didn't go where I wanted it to go, I'm intentionally taking the time to overlook to see what I can do better for the next time. And that way I can intentionally get more things financially that I'm wanting to get. And the last one is better budgeting. I am a very broad budgeter. Here's the money we have, here's what needs to be done, meet in the middle somewhere. And this is something I personally need to work on right now. I need to get a budget. I need to segregate that money individually of where it should be, not just bills, spending money. What are those bills getting paid? What is that spending money being spent on? Things like that. There are plenty of ways that you can implement intentionality in your life and in your home. Don't let the list stop here. You know in your heart what you would like to be more intentional about. Write it down, hang it up, think about it every single day until it's been implemented in your life. Majority of the things on this list I have already implemented over the last year and are intentionally keeping fresh and ready to be done daily, weekly, or monthly. Some of them I definitely need to work on. We're all a work in progress. Don't beat yourself up. You can't do everything perfectly. I do currently do the Fly Lady system. If any of you are interested in what that is or how I implement it in my life, if you do know what it is, leave me a comment below and I will be sure to get that video out for you. I love sharing my A-type personality things. Don't get me wrong, that A-type personality gets me in trouble sometimes, but in other times, implemented correctly, it can truly be a blessing. And you don't have to be an A-type personality to implement these things. You just have to be intentional. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you are motivated to go out and think about the things that you would like to be intentional about and the things that you would like to make sure that you're getting done in your life so that you can be the best version you can be. Isn't that what it's about? Being the best you, loving yourself, loving others, being around others, and having that time happily, not stressfully, not overwhelmed, but happily. Hope you enjoyed. Give it a big thumbs up, like and subscribe down below. So that's the word for today, intentional, intentional. You can do it. If I did it, get it done.